Hey Guru Nation, how's it going? Wanted to make a quick video for you today. I'm going to be doing more today. I'm actually, this week, before New Year's, hopefully everyone had a Merry Christmas, have a Happy Holidays. Before New Year's, going to do a lot of videos on the channel, so stay tuned. But this one's short. It's going to be the science background versus the non-science background, and specifically the clinician background versus the non-clinician background in getting a job in clinical research, and once you're in research, working in research. So, of course, guys and gals, it's much better if you have a science background and if you have a clinical background. For example, for an international medical graduate, pharmacist, nurse, LVN, it helps to have clinical knowledge to get in the industry. Even MA, medical assistant. I mean, can you draw blood? Can you do vital signs? Can you do ECGs? Companies are looking at, if you have no research experience, what can you provide? What value can you immediately provide? So obviously, if you have clinical knowledge, clinical background, you can provide value immediately. If you don't, they start looking at more of your technical skills. Do you have project management experience? Do you have managerial experience? If you don't, they start looking at other things. You have marketing experience, branding experience, sales experience. There are roles. The thing about research is no matter your background, there is a place for you in clinical research. Of course, it's easier to get in with a science or clinical background, but it's not the end of the world if you don't have that. All you got to do is supplement that with some experience. Supplement your ongoing experience. Everybody has experience in something. Supplement that with some practical, hands-on clinical research experience. This is why the CRA, CRC academies are doing great as far as enrollment, because we actually offer real industry experience, but this is not going to be an infomercial. You need to figure out, if you don't have the clinical background, how to go about getting that. Even if it's working at a research site for a month, even if it's volunteering at a research site for 2 weeks, put something on your resume that's immediately transferable to the prospective employer who's looking. And right now, they're all looking, guys. Now, the question, which ones do better once they get hired? So it's obvious the science and clinical background is easier to get your first opportunity. Which ones do better in the long run? It's basically the same. It's anecdotal. This is my channel, guys, anecdotal experience. It's basically the same. Once you're in, you could be a clinical research coordinator, 2 years, no science background. You can figure out your therapeutic indication. You can learn the necessary things you need in order to, like the basic fundamentals of that particular medical or therapeutic indication, to be able to leverage that to further your career with no clinical background, no scientific background whatsoever. You could be, at the same token, an international medical graduate. You can be a study coordinator. You can go on to then be a CRA. It's a little bit easier for people with RN degrees, pharmacist degrees, international medical graduate degrees to go straight to CRA quicker. 1 year maybe of experience, maybe 2 years instead of 3 if you're a coordinator. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, and it boils down to where are you happier? What role are you happier in? CRAs have to travel a lot. Yes, with virtual tools, they may have to travel less, but that's not happening right now. We're not seeing that. We're seeing elements of virtual trials. We're seeing elements of remote monitoring, but we're not seeing that fully. The majority of studies are not virtual. They're starting to implement a little bit risk-based remote monitoring here and there, and that's going to continue to increase. But at the end of the day, it doesn't require scientific knowledge. It requires practical know-how of clinical research. So the scientific knowledge is good to get you in, but once you're in, unless you're a PI or a sub-I, like nobody, really cares, because we have medical monitors, we have PIs, we have sub-Is in the study. So everybody needs to play their part and do their role in clinical research. Now, it's your job, not the company's job, it's your job to make sure that you become a generalist so that you can capitalize on all the opportunities that will come in the future, because generalists tend to do better and tend to be more risk averse as far as job market fluctuations. Right now we're experiencing a very good job market, but what happens when that changes? Because everything comes in cycles. The generalists will do better than the specialists. And what happens if technology eliminates your specialization? Because It happens all the time. If you refuse to adapt, regardless of your background, science or not science, and what I've noticed is the non-science background people, they tend to understand this a little better, so they tend to adapt and become generalists quicker. This is just something, again, anecdotal, something interesting I discovered. No matter your background, bottom line, there is a place for you in clinical research. Once you're in, it's all on the individual, not the company and not the system as a whole. On you, the individual, what you're going to do with your career going forward. Nobody else, regardless of background. Take care, Guru Nation. Let me know what you think. Bye-bye.